Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, and the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother, I'm Allah from Gemma, Chicago, and I'm gonna go into a quick lesson about the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, and today the wicked is in rulership, which is speaking about the so-called white man, right? Well, here's Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" And that's right. That's speaking about Esau. Right? He does cover the faces of the judges thereof. Right? He basically whitewashed his history. Right? He sets himself as like he is the Lord when he's actually not. Right? He claims that he is the Vikings when really he's just the wild man. All right, crawling on all four, on his hands and his legs. All right, he's the caveman basically. All right, and hey, Esau here. All right, he decrees unrighteous decrees. All right, which really it oppresses you, Jakes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right? Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what Esau does on a daily basis. He sets up these laws and legislations, regulations, whatever. Alright? And really it was meant to oppress you, Jake. Right? They even tax the hell out of you, Jakes. Alright? They the police over you, Jakes. Right? They put you in these neighborhoods all close up together, which causes problems and shit. They put massive fines or massive charges, unrighteous charges against you that you have to pay off, and really, you just get no rest. Especially here in America, Babylon the Great. It says, "And what will ye do in the day of visitation and desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory?" But that's right, the Lord, right? He put these curses on us, right? Because we sin against Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai at the end of the day. Alright, so he sets up our oppressor against us, right? And this is why we're in these fucked up conditions that we are in right now, right? Hey, that goes to prove that, we are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, living in poverty, right? Our people that are filling the prison houses, talking about in prisons. Our people living from paycheck to paycheck, barely having enough to get by. Our people having so much an evil eye towards each other, or they slay one another in these hoods. All right, and they don't really realize that the enemy is Esau. Right, Esau puts you in these conditions, puts you, Jakes, in conditions to where he makes you want to attack each other. It says, verse 4, "Without me they shall bow down to the prisoners and they shall fall under the slain for all this. His anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Another precept to prove that Esau is the wicked. Right, Revelation 6 and 4 says, and there went out another horse that was red, Adam, red. Dang it. Adam. The fuck? It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that's what Esau does to this very day. Right? He's blessed with the sword, and he takes peace from the earth by the use of his sword. Right, you look at today's society, all right, look who's doing all the mass killings. Look who's doing all the terrorizing all over the world, right? You see that on the news, that'll be Esau, right? Especially Esau creating these wars and, starving people to death, right? You see the Amalekites over there in Gaza, right? Starving those to death. Right? You can see how cruel Esau Edom really is. Right? And the world can see that. The entire world can see that. That Esau is the main problem. The so-called white man is the main problem for, all these disasters and shit. Take peace from Alright, Proverbs 29 and 2, when the righteous, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And, you see the majority of people all across around the world, alright, in the morning, you got protests in these major countries, alright? In these people, they're just mourning. Because of what Esau is doing. Esau's putting hell on these people. Esau is even putting hell on his very own people as well. On his very own people, he puts hell on them. Sirach 14 and 5, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. And that's what Esau, this is what the wicked is even doing as well, right? Esau is evil to himself. Esau don't really give a shit about his very own people, right? He sets up scenarios where they actually happen to where, if he sees an enemy and shit, he'll bomb the shit out of him. Even if his very own people is in that area, he'll still do it. Or, Esau's putting basically his very own people in financial straits. His very own people in financial straits And you got his own people that are also um, making uproars about it. Says he shall not take pleasure in his goods. You see, Esau is not taking pleasure in his goods. He's all fucked up as well. And then fuck him at the end of the day. But that was it to a lesson. Hope it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shalom.